energy of all of us is bringing light to all the world right now, and we're bringing light to all the world right now.
The law of attraction is similar to the law of love.
I think that life and the world is very, very synchronistic.
And realize there is no death.
We are living simultaneously in many different levels.
Crystal skulls are living beings.
For any of us to ever think that we're the only ones here on planet Earth is about the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
And remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you are.
Okay, so welcome to the Divine Heart Expo. My name's Erica Grooms, and I live near here, actually in Mount Gilead. We're going to talk today about releasing stress, anxiety, trauma, PTSD. Before we go any further, is there anyone here that is aware or been diagnosed that they have PTSD? The amazing thing is that a lot of us have it and we don't even know it. If you've been exposed to any type of emotional drama when you were younger, or witnessed any experience or trauma, been in a car accident, had any of those events either happening to you or witnessed it happening. For example, a good example of that would be, how many of you have emotional anxiety triggered when we reach September the 11th and we start talking about the event that took place when the towers went down? How many can still feel that, what happened during that time? Can you imagine, even if they might not been at ground zero, how that affects the people in New York? My coaching clients are all over the world. And whenever I visit with someone from New York, even if they don't have PTSD, they have at least a small form of it by being in New York and just not being able to avoid that event. Because somehow, some way, it was there. They were in it. Whether it was from smoke or, just the activities of the city during that time. So a lot of people are surprised to find out that they actually have PTSD or a form of it. And we're learning a lot more about PTSD. Back in the day, we thought it was a mental illness. And it's amazing the things that we, are discovering today with science being involved. In my coaching practice, I inspire and empower people to be free of the subconscious and the conscious blocks that holds them back from being the happiest version of themselves and their desires. And my mantra is, you don't need self-help, you need self-love. Be you, be happy, be free. I first started coaching in the 1970s, the late 1970s, 1979 to be exact. I hate to even mention that these days because now you know my age. A long time I've been working in coaching. And traditionally when I started, it was in the financial services. And I worked with large corporations, businesses, and individuals. And it was all about growing the business or self-growth for professionals, being more successful in their profession. And it was all about control. Today, it's more about the inner work and giving up control. Do you feel that? You guys are smiling. Sometimes when I say that, I say, well, a lot of that has to do with age, but it has a lot to do with the energy that we experience on the planet and where we are in our ascension. So in my practice, we talk a lot about epigenetics. Has anyone heard about epigenetics? Okay. Well, it basically means that we are what we eat, we drink, our environment, what we think, our thoughts, and our relationships with ourselves and our relationships with others. Back in the day, science used to think that we are what we are, that most of our genetics, our DNA, was made up of who our parents are. If they're fat, we're going to be fat. If they have a tendency to have cancer or diabetes, then we're going to get it too. That's kind of what used to take place. In the last 15 years or so, science has changed, and we have now called it epigenetics. And it states that 5% or less of our health is determined by our genes, and that's our parent stuff, a lot of it. And 95% or more is determined by our environment. That's the epigenetics. We are what we think, we eat, we drink, our environment, where we work, where we live, the geographical location, all those things affects our genetics, makes us who we are. And we believe also that the epigenetics shape our emotions, behaviors, and experience in life that makes a world of difference in our health through epigenetic pathways. And that is trauma, stress, all those things affect epigenetics. Our bodies hold the energy of stress and affect our epigenetics. They also affect our children, and they're handed down 3 to 4 or more generations. That's a pretty powerful statement, but science has proven that. So spiritually speaking, 5% of our DNA is human. And 95% of our DNA is quantum. And it's affected by everything. It's a pipeline to our entourage. And 95% is consciousness, it's physics, and it's quantum energy. Any questions so far? Okay. Referring to my notes, my equipment's newer than the wiring here, so we're not doing PowerPoint today. So PTSD is a process, and the brain is trying to perfect things. It's to survive you. and it loops and it constantly plays back. The more you see, the more the brain tries to survive you and the ethics of it. And so the looping continues and it becomes a spear. When I mention the ethics of it, a lot of times that throws people off. Let me give you a good example of the ethics of it. If you are a service person and you are in combat and your entire troop, your buddies, your best friends, and your comrades all just got killed and you were the only survivor, and now you're coming back home in a plane where the bottom's filled with dead bodies, how do you think that would affect the ethics of that person? Why me? Why me? So that's where ethics becomes part of the PTSD survival. So they're constantly replaying it because it attacks their core values. Does that make sense? So we say don't give up because your body wants to help you. It has a consciousness. It doesn't want illness or disease, and it wants wellness. In what I call 2D, two-dimensional energy, your body gives you a way of communicating. It's called pain, right? Something must change. The information has to change, otherwise it becomes static. We must address the information to change the physics by programming the DNA with instructions to change. Human consciousness carries imprints. Kinesiology and neurokinesis is a system of feedback. It's from your body to you. And the more you practice it, the more your body will respond. The intervention coaching that I do is dealing with people, their beliefs, their stress, their trauma, PTSD, and the intervention coaching empowers you to do the work. It does not require you to tell your story, and it's not counseling, and it's not therapy, and it's not hypnosis. The reason why those things aren't working, and if you want to know if that's a true statement or not, look at the millions of military who have PTSD, who, back even before the Vietnam War, who are still dealing with PTSD and have had counseling. Hypnosis is short term. And what happens is that then gets triggered, it comes back. That's why those things don't work. Medically speaking, the answer has been to treat the symptom with drugs, chemically induced drugs that affect the feel-good feelings in the organ, the brain, right? Still, it's only treating the symptom. So the techniques I teach helps actually change the brain in the current moment. For those with PTSD, the objective is to get results. Not someday, somewhere, somehow, but now. Each person's different, so the results and the timeline varies. The key is to allow the change. Your mind will think this is too easy, and it's been used to being in control. So sometimes there's a conflict because the techniques train the brain to take over. The brain is in the present moment, it's in the now. The mind is where we have our belief systems and the unworthiness and all the crap, the fear, all those things that's been handed down, lifetimes of stuff. That's all mind stuff. That's not brain. So the training is to replace the information with new information, to give it new instructions, because your body wants to help you. So the main thing is, again, that this is easy and that you need to get out of your own way and allow the healing to take place. Keep in mind that a lot of our stuff, it may not be as severe as PTSD. It may just be our belief system. This has been with us for a very, very long time. That's why if you don't know how to release it, it's pretty hard, because it's who we are. So with my coaching, it's not just about getting well, because there are results. They're expected. Again, the timeline varies depending on the individual. But the key is that the whole family is the client, because if somebody has PTSD, that's primary. There's different forms of PTSD. The spouse has secondary PTSD. The children also have PTSD. There's PTSD that you acquire when you're a child. There's PTSD that you acquire when you're adult. Something happened to you when you're younger, and then you had a car accident or something, or you witnessed some geographical, disaster when you were older. You have compounding PTSD. Again, there's all different kinds of PTSD. So I say do it for you and do it for the people that love you, because they suffer just as bad as the ones that have the PTSD. And if you don't believe me, talk to a spouse of someone that has PTSD. So, but keep in mind, all of us have a little bit of it. We all have stuff there that needs to be released. So let's focus on change now and loving your body. Let's start with laughing. Laughing moves energy. It has a greater effect on your body than any man-made feel-good chemical, and it's proven scientifically. Smile in the knowing and allow the calibration to change you. You will create and allow change in your DNA. Allow change in your body, which is felt. This is not mind work. I don't do mind work. This is wholeness, and it's WHOLENES. It's a holistic health. You guys ready to get started? I'm going to teach you something right now. And we'll keep going if we have time. So I'd like for you to stand up. And wherever you feel comfortable, look at the wall in front of you. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Look straight in front of you and focus on an item, wherever in front of you is. Without moving your head, turn your eyes to the right. Focus on an item on the wall in front of you. Hold. Back to center. To the left. Hold. Back to center. Take a deep breath. Whatever emotions or anxiety you have about what's going to happen in this meeting, just let it go. In America, when we greet people, we say, "Hello, nice to meet you," right? What I'd like for you guys to do, all of us to do at the same time, is to replace "hello, nice to meet you," those 4 words with ha, 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 ha. Okay, so ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Now you do it too. And keep going. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Don't stop laughing. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, keep going. Listen to your laugh. Keep going. Listen to the person laughing.
It does make you laugh.
How do you feel? How do you feel? Be aware of how your body feels right now. Be really aware of how your body feels right now and hold that feeling. Hang on to it. Because if you can capture that feeling anytime that you feel stressed or depressed, even if you actually practice this 3 times a day, you will be able to instantly evoke those feel-good chemicals in your body, and it will instantly change. Yes?
Is there a difference between laughing in your head and laughing out loud?
No, your body doesn't know the difference. That's the key. If you feel stressed, you're in a traffic jam. Somebody had an accident and you're already late for work, and you can start feeling that stress come up. Fake the laugh. Your body doesn't know it's faking it. I had one client say, I was standing in the middle of the grocery store. I was already running late. I was in line, in this big long register line. And she said, I just started bursting out laughing. And hers was verbal. And she says, I couldn't help it. When you get to that point where you can do that anytime, oh my gosh, that one thing is so amazing. Keep in mind that affects the chemicals in your body. Your body changes. It changes your DNA. It reacts in a way that is so much better than taking a pill. So much better. And that's one little thing that you can do every time. For depression, stress, anxiety, how are we doing on time?
We own time.
Yeah, some of us think we do, don't we? That's not right. How are we doing on time?
25 minutes.
Okay, so we only have 25 minutes? All right, so we're going to have to hurry. I'm going to teach you a technique, and since we're a small group, I'm going to go ahead and do this. You have to really, really promise me, because this is just an introduction. It's not an hour coaching session. I do not have the time to really give you the long of it and the whys and the why nots. So I'm going to teach you something. You will see results. It will be effective. But you have to promise me that you don't use it only the way I instruct you to. Okay? It's called a neurokinesis hand technique. And you can kind of do it along with me. I'm going to teach you how to do it, and you can do it along with me. But your hands are positioned. You can open your eyes now. Thank you. You can position your hands like the Queen's wave. Okay? The key is that you never open your fingers. You keep your fingers together. Okay? No gaps. Don't do one of these. Keep your fingers not tight, because your hands will start cramping after a while. But you just keep your fingers together like this, okay? And you start by, we're going to affect the neurons and the neuralgia of our bodies. You start, this is the first position. You always, always, always do the right hand over the left first. This is powerful stuff. If you were pregnant and you started with the left hand over the right, you could abort a child. You could do it, you could cause an abortion. Right hand over left. And you start right here, and it's kind of like putting lotion on your hands. What you're doing is you're affecting, actually reflexology is involved too. Your little finger is lined up with your knuckles. And you just simply push your hand, leave a little bit of a cup here, because our emotions and memories are going to go right there. We're going to push it. So, first step, going over your hands like this, going towards your fingers, and now your thumb is lined up with your knuckles. And you're going to pull it across, and then back to this position. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now watch me. When I switch hands, you always do at least 4 complete passes right over left. Then you do 4 complete passes to 8 left over right. We always start with 8. So assuming I just finished my 8th pass, I'm going to switch hands without separating my hands. I don't want to break the energy that's being created. I'm going to just switch my hands. And now my left hand is over my right hand. And 1, 2, 3, 4. As your little finger goes across your hand, feel those ridges in your knuckles. Put your hand forward. Now the thumb comes across. Feel those ridges in those knuckles. One, 2, 3, 4. And that's about the speed you want. The hardest part is keeping count. Just remember, if you do 8 on this hand, you have to do 8 on that hand. If you're not finished and you go to the next hand, then you gotta go back to the left. You want to always keep the energy balanced, left and right. It's balancing the left and right of your brain.
That's the purpose of this.
Well, that's part of the purpose. That's part of the purpose. Actually, what I'll show you is that actually goes after the imprints in your entire body and really your entire macabre. Okay, so that's how you do it. So we don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to show you one of the techniques. So you need to practice. I want to see everybody do it.
You do 4 one way and 4 the other.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. Just at least 4 passes each hand.
And do you go the other way and do 4 too?
Yeah, you do 4 this way. Now my right hand's on top of my left, right? Now I'm switching. Now my left hand's on top of my right hand.
You just do them one way.
Yeah.
Go back and do.
No, you don't go right, left. You just do.
No. You do. Okay, I'm doing one way, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do I do 1, 2,
No,
3,
no, no,
4?
no. No, it's
Okay.
always clockwise
Always clockwise.
on each
There
hand.
you go.
Well, when you're back on this hand, you're actually going counterclockwise.
When you're back on which hand?
When your left hand is on your right hand, you're counterclockwise, right? Yeah, because you're going like
Start
this,
with
see?
the little finger.
You're going like this.
So it's clockwise on the right, clockwise using the right hand on the left, and it's counterclockwise.
Yeah, just remember it's the same technique. You're pushing the energy across the top of your hand, and you're moving your hand towards your fingertips, and then you're bringing it across the knuckles, and then back to first position. So the little finger goes across the knuckles, and then the thumb comes across the knuckles. Okay? We can keep doing this if we hurry. Is it, you think you guys got it? Okay, we're going to do one of the techniques, short version of it.
So there's no finish to that. You were talking about the
No, your key is all you got to do is just try to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
My thumb is wanting to tuck in. Is that okay if your thumb tucks in?
You don't want it to go like that. Okay, so everybody, you guys ready? We're going to actually do a technique with it. Okay? At the beginning of each phase, I want you to keep your eyes open and watch what I'm doing. But when you go immediately to your hands, as I continue to talk, I want you to close your eyes. And then when you're done, and you've done at least 4 passes on each side, you can open your eyes and wait till the next step. Okay? Okay? Okay. I want you to think about any anxieties you had before you came here, or any small memory that causes a stress to you. When I say small, if you were to measure a memory that causes a level of anxiety to you, and if we're using a scale of 0 being no effect whatsoever, to a scale of 5 being high level PTSD, I want you to think of something that is like maybe a 1. Might have just been stresses of the morning, or even thinking about, I want to go to this meeting, but should I come? Is that okay? Does that work? Everybody has that in their mind? Okay, position your hands and look at me. While you're thinking of that stressor, I want you to focus, while you're doing the hands, I want you to focus on the front part of your brain, the front lobal part of your brain. I want you to focus on this area right here. Okay? All right, close your eyes and start your hands. We're going to start clearing the negative memories from the front part of your brain. Picture the negative memories going away. Focus on the negative memories going away. Focus on the memory leaving the front part of the brain. Focus on it being gone. Open your eyes when you're done. Now I want you to focus on the right side. We don't have a lot of time. So I want you to focus down on the right side, the same memory that you're working on. Let's focus on the right side. Position your hands. Close your eyes. Focus on the right side of your brain. Focus on the negative memories. Focus on the memories going away. Focus on the negative memories leaving the right side of your brain. If you're ready, open your eyes. I know some of you aren't doing your hands, which is fine, if that's what you want to do. But
Doing your hands, you mean? Oh, I thought we were supposed to put.
no, I wanted you to see and focus on that right side. Now I want you to see me and focus on your left side of your brain. And if you want to start out by saying, give yourself a second, put your hand there, just feel the left side, focus on the energy of the left side. You can do that. Now position your hands and do your hands and focus on releasing all negative memories on the left side of your brain. Focus on the negative memory leaving the left side of your brain. Focus on it going away. Focus on it leaving your brain now. Okay? Now I'd like for you to focus on the back side of your brain, right here. Each parts of our brain house different things. This is a short session, so we don't get into those today. But okay, position your hands. Focus on all the negative memories leaving the back of your head. Focusing on the negative memory leaving the back of your head. Focus on the negative memory leaving the back of your head. Okay, now I'd like for you to focus on the crown. Do your hands. Focus on all negative reactions due to those memories. Leaving your crown. All your reactions to the negative memories leaving the top of your head. Now, the spine and the back of the head. The brain stem goes from here all the way down to your tailbone. We used to think it was just there. It goes all the way. So focus on this back area and focus on that whole area going down to your spine, your tailbone. Focus on the reaction due to the memories leaving the back of your head, pushing those memories all the way down your spine, down to your tailbone. Focus on all the negative memories held by the muscles, the nerves, the cells, the spine, all the way down to the tailbone, going away. Open your eyes. Take a deep breath. Now think about that memory or that stressor you had. What number would you assign to it now?
Less than it was.
That's one of the techniques that we do, the little bitty mini one. Any questions?
Yeah, what do you actually do? What's the therapy you do? And
It's intervention coaching. I mentioned earlier, I actually live in Mount Gilead. I have coached hundreds of clients all around the world, and I mostly do it sitting at my desk over the computer. I use a medical HIPAA compliant site similar to Skype or Zoom, and we just do it right there. So you're in the comfort of your home, and we see each other face to face, and I do my coaching that way.
so what is your therapy called? I mean, what you said
Well, I
it, but
do-
I don't understand what it is.
I do different things. What I just taught you was called intervention coaching. It doesn't involve counseling or therapy
And
or hypnosis.
did you just invent all this yourself?
Well, I've learned.
No,
I've been coaching since '79.
Okay.
So-
You invented all these techniques yourself?
Well, it's combination. I have like 38 certifications. So I also channel. So a lot of things that I learn,
Okay.
I learn from my guides. And but it's kind of a combination of this or that. I am a Reiki master teacher, and I teach Reiki. So a lot of the techniques and stuff that I do have some kind of base to those things that I've learned and practiced through the years. Does that make sense?
Vague, but yeah, I guess.
It's kind of combination of this and that.
Okay.
But I practice them. Some of these techniques that I use for intervention coaching, by the way, I have a large coaching group. We have had over 60,000 in a study that medical science, the doctors, I work with Corrections Canada and the Military Training Division, because we've learned that if a serviceman learns how to do these simple techniques before they're employed, if they do them within 72 hours of a trauma event, they won't get PTSD. I know, is that amazing?
Too bad you can't reach out to people in Las Vegas.
Yeah, well, I do remote or energetic healing as well. One of the things I do actually in my practice is quantum cellular healing for wellness. But yeah, that's a big wow.
Yeah.
Big.
What is quantum cellular healing?
Pardon?
What is quantum cellular healing?
Well, it involves a lot of things in actually my time's up. Sorry, I mean, I don't really have a lot of time to talk a lot about these things, but yeah, it's the military is. Aw, thank you. Thank you. And I will do a free coaching consultation, so you're welcome to join me. And thank you. Thank you.
Is some of that information on your website?
It is, and I have it also at my desk. Well, and when I'm with in a spiritual community, ha 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 ha.